Okay. One thing about important about in any mayoral system is can you work with the people there? Sometimes you have to get rid of some of them. Sometimes you got to get rid of all of them, especially if they don't have those qualities. That's just called the virtuous right now. They don't have those qualities and can't work with people and want to be transparent and just in there for photo ops, money, and old boys club. So that's what we're getting. That's what we need to deal with here. So hopefully we'll have a bit more to have to say in that. And I've got a guest here, Magpie Waters, and it's going to see if Magpie wants to have a little bit more to say about it.
About politics?
Politics, whatever you care. It's your voice right now.
Well, my voice. So today I'm going to wish everyone a happy Indigenous Nations Day. We recognize the Indigenous Nations of America today, the day formerly known as Columbus Day. Many cities have adopted today as Indigenous Peoples Day. And I'd love to see the city of Pocatello adopt indigenous people around the world, and especially the ones on this continent. So that's what I have to say about that, and we always want to remember that those indigenous peoples were great leaders. You know, they put themselves out on the line. They didn't stand back and let the troops die. Crazy Horse went in first.
That's true. I had a friend of mine I worked with, and he's a comedian. And he used to, say, we got to be, we got to learn from the Europeans. We got to, it was his project was we're going to go take over cars with people in them. We're going to occupy them, and say this is our car. I think some of that happened in a lot of ghettos. People were occupying cars for a while, and it was probably because of poverty and other issues like that when people are pressed into situations like that. And it's just not everybody's got a criminal mind. It's survival. It's just a surviving mind. Sometimes how to live from one day to the next. So when you take everything away from people, well, what's left?
Well, it's kind of interesting that you bring that up, because for one person, they can come in and take all your land, all your possessions, and dispossess you, and that's called manifest destiny. Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing. That was, God wants that. But if the people take your horses or take something from you, it's called you're a stealing savage and you deserve to die. At that time it was all right to a Native American man. There was a bounty on him of $100, which in today's value is about $3,700. And so I think Native people are worth a lot more. I think that all people are worth a lot more. And in America today, I'd like to see us love one another. There was a tragic shooting in Las Vegas. I've always been a person who's been kind of, I don't want to see militarized police. I don't like to see our police use armored vehicles and, have, look like soldiers. But after that Vegas shooting in Idaho, I backtrack, and I want our police to have all the protection that they can. You don't know who's going to do what in America now. If we can't trust our police and our military, I don't know who we can trust. One of the things I'd like to bring up is that in Vegas, if maybe those security people were armed with rifles and automatic rifles, maybe lives would have been saved. I don't know. I just know that our world's kind of troubled, and we need to love one another, and we need to protect. We need to give those resources to the law enforcement. And speaking of law enforcement, I think in Bannock County we have a issue about a treatment center and a jail. Mm-hmm. The citizens voted no on the jail last year. I find it highly disrespectful of the voters to come back a year later and ask again. I think there needs to be something put in place. Ballot initiative, I guess, is the way to go. To say if the voters put it down, don't come back to us for 3 to 5 years, because we're saying that we think there's a better way to do it. And so in this new ballot, they're asking for a jail and a treatment center. They put the treatment center first, You know, that's what they're advertising as a behavioral health center. And when you break down the numbers, out of the $16 million, only $2 million is going to the treatment center. And only 4%, when it gets down to it, only 4% of the money will be spent to people who are actually in need of, as preventative treatment. We want prevention. We don't want jail. We want prevention. And so instead of sneaking something in, let's be straight up. And if you want a treatment center, I bet the people would vote for that. But from what I hear, that's already coming in anyway.
Well, the issue is, like you say, it's a disrespect to the voters because they made decisions. The people made decisions. And then just say, well, we'll just ignore that and put a carrot in there and see if we can get them to drink the dirty water anyways. It's a way politics operates in many places, but when do you stop doing it? That's what I say. When do you grow up? When do you say no? When do you say, like, I'm an advocate, I write laws, so, public initiative. If it's important, have it a separate issue. Don't be piggyback things because, again, it happens with school districts here. It happens with our city government. And I always watch when they say, oh, we're going to piggyback this. Piggyback. Well, what the heck's that meant? Does that mean we're going to have really something right in my back? Or we basically got something stuck in the pack that we don't want you to see? We're just going to sneak it in and say, hi, smile, but don't look at my pack because I have contraband in there. And that's the issue that they want to do. Not that I carry any contraband in my pack, but, the thing is, we don't have respect for our
That's
voters.
the issue. And with the mayoral race and with the city council race, we have people that are advocating a change of leadership. A good leader. Let's look at the word leader. Let's spell leader out here. Leader. A good leader is not a liar. Okay? A good leader loves. A good leader is an example, not an extortionist. Okay? A good leader,
should be awesome.
Is awesome. Yeah, a good leader's awesome. Not banning people and being anal. That's a bad leader. That's not really a leader. That's being anal. Okay. D, a good leader is dynamic and diverse. A bad leader does damage. E, a leader is exceptional. A bad leader is
Just be careful they're not practicing extermination. But that's just where I come
well,
from sometimes.
There is that extermination order going on down at the pound. And a bad leader does accept the extermination of wildlife, does accept cyanide factories and bombs in a city. A good leader is respectful of human rights. A bad leader they revolt me. They're revolting. I don't know.
Now that was so moving there. I like that leader. Gets put us all on a boat, a healthy one, and let's travel around and good ship, not lollipop, good ship, leadership. Real leaders with having those virtues and those ethical qualities that we should demand in people who are making decisions or helping you. So let's see if we can change that. And I got to kiss you for that. I'm sorry, you're gonna hit this. I got to kiss you. It's a respect thing. I got to kiss you. And I'm gonna kiss him.
Oh, tonight's show is Can I Kiss You? And it's all about asking first, also about intervening when you see a dangerous situation or bar or club involving alcohol and sex, and how to support survivors of sexual assault. So from the fun side of consent and asking for what you want and what you don't want, to the very serious side of sexual violence and trying to stop that. I've been doing this now for 26 years, and actually Idaho State University is one of the very first universities I worked with in the early 1990s when I was a college student. Very good. I'm going to ask your first name. First name? Danielle. All right, and first name? Ginger. Everybody say, hey, Ginger. Say, hey, Danielle.
Can I kiss you? Yes, respect, permission. Let's deal with life as it should be.